Hi guys, this is Bright Wolf making another video for this week, this season, this year. I just wanted to kind of go into a different subject today. I kind of wanted to go into something a bit darker, as strange as that sounds. I wanted to touch on the subject of vampirism. Vampirism as we know it, I know there's a lot of teens, a lot of tweens, a lot of emos out there, a lot of people in general who are still fixated on Twilight and everything. I grew up interested in vampirism. I grew up kind of having that effect put on me of the magnetism of the spectre or the immortal. One of the things that got me about vampirism was the immortality side of it. It was the forever lasting, preternatural type soul that got to view quite a lot of things over a number of years and not having any effect. One of the things I wanted to let you people understand was that, or let anyone who doesn't really kind of have an understanding of vampirism. Vampirism is actually a practice done by black magic magicians and the occult. It's done by kind of more Illuminati type cults, type kind of predatory practices. It's basically, vampirism is when you decide that you are actually above the rest of your own race in the crowd, and you practice basically sucking someone's energy on the astral plane. You practice this to basically attack and disengage and absorb someone else's energy. A lot of black magic magicians have tried this, and it is a 1,000-year-old practice of locking yourself in a dark room, using the kind of the darkness or that long state of trance, lying there. Eventually you will enter the astral, and it's the practice of turning into a predator, something that can fly through the night, or chase down things, and usually a bat, and you will go and you will latch onto other people in the astral unwittingly and drink their blood, or their life force and another energy. I mean, on a higher physical astral way, you are just actually sucking someone's astral energy, and these people have no idea what's going on, which is why it's easy to target someone, because you already have met them in the physical. But these people actually do practice it to the point where they are not just amateurs, but they are actual artists at stealing people's energies. They are Da Vinci's of energy loss. And they will practice these to not only, the belief is that when they take your energy, they actually absorb it back into a physical grail of their own metamorphosis, and they take on your energy. But it is also a way of becoming stronger and taking on abilities and stealing psychic ideas and stealing psychic techniques, and also skills that a physical person can have. So this is all based on the idea of that in the astral you can do whatever you want and take whatever you want. But that's because a lot of people don't really know what is actually out there. You can have something like a lunar body, which is maybe something you haven't developed. It can be a more dream type body. It can envisage your goals, and maybe someone can actually latch onto that particular body, the lunar body in the zodiac, and steal some of your feminine creative energy. It's a bit harder to do with the solar energy. A lot of people will use their solar energy. Vampires, the occult practices it through dark magic, and it is passed down from reptilians, which actually do practice drinking human blood, which enables them to take on a more deceiving shape in this material physical plane. I think that there is a lot of interesting facts about how energy is formed, but a lot of light workers know that you can create your own energy, or it can just bounce off someone and magnify in your life. Dark people will actually be so disemboweled of creativity that they actually have to focus on someone like that stands out and target them and take their energy, because they don't even know how to create their own abundance in their own life. It's more like a resource to them than an actual breath of functioning. The world is not what it seems. There's theories at the moment that there are structures on the moon. NASA has blotted out a lot of the structures that are actually on the moon. There are creatures under the craters. There has been UFOs found on the moon with retrieved bodies of a couple of pilots of one of the crafts, 2 women, and in this one of these bodies that they found that the skin actually chipped. It didn't decompose like normal human bodies would, because apparently this body was so old and so well looked after by its physical state that it was actually from the days of Noah, when the women or the daughters of Cain actually lived for thousands of years. And I can agree with that. I mean, I don't know if they were just the daughters of Cain. I think that these women were the daughters of genetically improvised Atlantean offshoots of people, and that we just had developed the technology and the kind of biological increase in longevity when we absorb some of this crystal light that we mastered scientifically. I think it's really possible that we got to it. We've been in maybe 3 or 4 states where we've had like technology that has like way surpassed the microwave for about maybe a million, maybe 50 million years. We keep going through these phases of awakening and then destruction. So with vampirism, as I say, reptilians taught this technique because they physically need our purity to stay in this dimension, and that's what a leech type species is. It has to latch onto a higher dimension to actually keep its own form. So the more you wake up to light, and the more you realize that we all need to basically hold a big ring of power and basically an acceptance of every single form of existence, that we won't be able to pass through to the 5th dimension. I think dimensionality is a state of basically equality in a whole uni-consciousness that perceives its own ego. We each have to do our part. We each have to become wild. We each have to stop giving in to the easy way and eating meat and spending money and letting the government think for us. We need to do these things ourselves. We need to study everything. We need to learn everything. We need to become comfortable with the darkest parts of our bodies, our sexuality, our identity, our fears, what's acceptable, why should we accept that the acceptable is not something written down just for this century. I think that with our own vibration, everything is just a consciousness, and that we are at a point where we really need to become aware that there are so many other vibrations out there, and if we just accept extraterrestrial help, we will unite in a way that leaves us wondering why it took so long to become part of a universal consciousness. I think that the soul is eternal, and that the Illuminati manipulated spiritual people that have eventually turned senile against the planet, and are trying to teach everyone that death is the only way. And I mean, we could fix death in a second if we really wanted to on this planet. All we would have to do is basically delete any disease, not be afraid to trust everyone psychically, and just let go of fucking everything that seems to want to kill us. I mean, eating decayed flesh is a vibration, and when you consume that, you actually become that. You are what you eat. If we just maybe studied a youth type gene which has a vibration of its own, we would probably have already fixed the cycle in our chemicals which actually encourage life, and hasn't realised its own immortality as a vibration. Yeah, so on this video I want to address vampirism. Shit. Sorry, I just dropped my tablet because I did it again. One second. I just dropped my tablet because it is on the table, and I've got it on a stool which I'm actually leaning on with my elbow, and I shouldn't do that. I guess I am not at film school. But anyway, I just wanted to say that for all of you that aren't aware that socially they're pumping out this blood drinking, this energy, vampirism into the Hollywood. I think we sorted it now. It's amazing what can happen on camera. This Hollywood kind of blood drinking, kind of satanic attitude that they're pumping out into everything in blood and guts. It's all to keep your vibration down. It's all to keep you thinking about death and not about holding someone's hand and actually raising them up to the lightning, you know, and giving them power. It's all about death. They don't want you to think about what would happen if you thought for yourself, or if you shot out into the universe and actually gave yourself another fucking future or a fate. They don't want you thinking about that. They want you thinking about what your reptilian secret overlords want to do to you on a plate, because that's all they think of you. They haven't even realised themselves yet that there is no future for them if they follow this path. We are all living in a place of free will, and anything that opposes your free will is actually the matrix, and it is there to show you that there is something out there that does not want you to follow your true God self. So, with all due respect, I would like everyone to meditate on their own inner enemy for a night. I would like people to meditate on how they can get in touch with that pure 5-year-old child they had, that believed that one day the world will just become so fucking perfect that the worry of your parents and the worry of the whole world would cease to be more than an amusement. You know, there's only so much this world can take before it really starts to turn its attention to what's actually affecting it. And I think that you need to meditate a lot more on what can you do now to be an introspective, helpful light being that can look at itself and realize that this level of consciousness is only a density, and you are a high dimensional being that can affect this place in such a way that we will be teaching other planets soon how to raise vibration, because we're so powerful. And I mean, you need to start, like, people my age need to start really tuning into the angels. Angel Michael, for example, has a colour of blue and is very powerful in seeking justice. He can slice through any problem. He can tackle anything. He can tackle any enemy and any obstacle, and actually bring a just light to the situation, especially when there's an oppressor. Like, his sword is very powerful. These messages of don't fuck with me are really good, you know, and you need to channel that and start really awakening a warrior, because a passive sheep does nothing except feed the wolves. If you want to be more powerful, you actually have to start questioning everything, including authority. You have to start realizing that there is no way to stop evil except to fucking lift up a sword. And that's the message I want to send tonight. So be aware of energy drain, be aware of vampires, be aware of predators, be aware of liars, and most of all, be aware of what you need to protect, which is that golden light and love. Peace out, this is Bright Wolf. Cheers.